Have you ever poured your heart and soul into decorating your home only afterwards to realize it's not quite what you imagined it to look like? Well, in today's video, I'm going to get a little bit personal and share my top oh no moments from renovating and decorating my own home, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did and create a home that's practical and that you truly love. So the first mistake I want to talk about is this sheepskin rug that I got for our TV corner. I got this rug after I saw one image in this interior book I have, and it just made the whole space look so plush, and I thought that this is exactly what we need. Let me show you now the problem that I have. This is a maintenance nightmare. You can't hoover it. The fluffy texture traps every speck of dust like a magnet. And over time, the texture of this has just gotten more and more knotty. Am I supposed to just sit here for 6 hours every few months and brush it so it becomes silky again? I don't know. I don't think so. And the thing is, if I start pulling at it to try to make it a little bit softer, you can see I literally pull out bits of like sheepskin. I think if I brush it, it will become bald very soon. So that's 400 euros spent on a rug that only lasts a couple of years instead of, I don't know, a few decades. Think about that before you buy a sheepskin rug in the future. So the second item I kind of regret buying is this very thin wool rug with tassels at the end that I got from IKEA. Well, this rug looks very nice and it feels like high quality because it is real wool. It is quite thin, so it does move around. So to combat this, I bought some sticky tape and I put it on the underside of the rug. So now if I stick it to the floor, it shouldn't move around. But there is nothing I can use for these tassels that will prevent them from moving. Whenever someone like goes over it, like me, my cat, my boyfriend, yeah, it just looks like a mess. I can't be going around every time brushing it out because it will not stay in place. Maybe a better solution would be to get one without this fringe and one that already comes with a sticky underside so it doesn't, you know, become a tripping hazard. So I've got this really big rug here in my lounge, and this thing never ever moves. Let me show you. If you see, the underside already comes with a layer of rubber, so it has excellent grip on the wooden floor. So I really wanted to avoid this old-fashioned yellowing wood floor that we already had in this apartment. So we went ahead and stained parts of our apartment with black floors. It was really cool at first, but after living here for 2 years, I have to tell you that the upkeep of these floors is insane. You can see every single piece of cat hair on the floor, scratch on the floor, dust on the floor. You have to be super careful. And that is difficult because it's a floor, you walk on it. This one time I was repotting this huge monstera plant and I didn't really take care of putting some sort of protection underneath while I was repotting the plant, and this is now what the floor looks like. So let's just put the fur rug back and hide it. Nobody has to know. We all know that wood is a natural material, and if you watch some of my previous videos, you'll know that having a lot of wood in your home is very calming and soothing because we as humans feel most comfortable when we're surrounded in nature. So anything that comes from the natural environment will make us feel good when we have it in our home. In our bedroom, I experimented with a white-colored wood floor because I wanted it to be quite bright and modern. However, this is a bit problematic because white wood doesn't actually really naturally occur in nature. So after we painted it and put wax on it, this white wood floor looked really fake. So in the end, we had to resand it. So I guess the lesson is that if you're not quite sure how to restain your wood, try to find a color that is most natural and mimics nature. Don't do the mistake that I did and make everything look really sterile because you will not feel good and you'll end up having to resand your floor multiple times. So in our living room, I originally wanted to create a really grown-up and formal atmosphere, so I arranged our 2 sofas to be symmetrical around the fireplace. It looked very magazine ready, but it wasn't really functional. We realized that we didn't actually end up using the space very often because it felt so formal, and we humans feel so much more comfortable when we're sitting down with our back towards something like a wall or a piece of furniture. And the way I initially arranged the sofas meant that we didn't have our back against anything, and this felt very psychologically uncomfortable. Now, I rearranged the furniture in this large open space, so the sofas had their backs against the wall. It doesn't look as chic anymore, but it does feel so much more comfortable to relax now. So when it comes to your home, of course, aesthetics and style is important, but you should never prioritize it over the functionality of a space and over how a home is supposed to feel. I've always been a massive fan of black and grey monochromatic colours because they can be really captivating, striking and modern. However, after living with an all black and grey scheme for 2 years, I realised that it makes the room feel a bit cold and not at all cosy. So I've explained in the previous video that we feel most comfortable and happy when basked in a room with warm coloured light. Here are 2 examples and you should distinctively know which one you prefer to be in. Spoiler alert, it's the one that is a little bit yellow. So this means in my lounge, which I've made monochromatic, when there is direct sunlight streaming in, the grey tones are softened by the warm yellow glow. But on days without sunshine, the whole room feels rather blue and cold. So to correct this, I ended up having to paint the white walls yellow to counteract the coolness. And I always switch on all the lamps in the room as soon as it gets dark to make the atmosphere a lot more cozy. So choose your color wisely based on the feeling you want to create in the space. And if you want to make your home feel very relaxed and comfortable, then steer away from the very serious colors. I've never been a fan of minimalist interiors because I think they lack personality and look a little bit bare and sad. So this mindset combined with social media has brainwashed me into thinking that more decor meant a more homely and cozy space. So of course, when we finally got our own home, I started buying knickknacks and trinkets and decor pieces to try to fill up the emptiness because I thought this would make it feel a bit more lived in and cozy. However, all that clutter ended up making the room feel a bit visually busy. Keeping things clean was a nightmare and it was impossible to achieve visual harmony all the time with so much little stuff competing for attention. So now I focus on having bigger statement pieces with more intentional placement. When you're not sure, it's always better to use the same amount of money to buy one large statement piece rather than 5 little pieces of decor. It'll make your home look more expensive, clean, and just easier to maintain. And the last mistake I want to talk about is underestimating the storage needs of every single room. In the office at home, I planned a wall of sideboards to hold all of our documents, but very soon it became apparent that this is not enough because the surfaces became overflowing and clutter became the norm. When there's not enough storage that's planned for all of your things, you end up just dumping them on surfaces, which is what we did here. Therefore, always plan for more closed storage than you initially think you need. Use all your vertical space if you have it. So if I had the budget to redo this room, I think I would take the storage all the way up to the ceiling, maybe have wardrobes instead of side units. And if you're interested in the psychology behind great design, just stay subscribed to my channel because I will be making more videos about this in the future.